6 quiet behaviors that make you highly attractive to women. Most men think attraction is loud, flashy cars, loud voices, constant texting, over-the-top compliments. But the truth is, real attraction happens in silence, in presence, in the little things you do when you're not even trying. It's in your calm, your stillness, your self-respect. Women are drawn to quiet strength, the kind that doesn't demand attention but commands it effortlessly. Today, I'll reveal 6 quiet behaviors that make you highly attractive to women without trying. Let's begin. 1. Calm eye contact, without needing to fill the silence. Most men underestimate the power of stillness, especially when it comes to attraction. They think they need to be loud, funny, charming, or constantly talking to make an impression. But the truth is, what women remember most isn't what you say. It's how you make them feel. And nothing makes a woman feel more seen, more pulled in, more intrigued than calm, unwavering eye contact. Let's break this down. When you look a woman in the eyes and hold that contact without nervous blinking, without constantly looking away, without trying to force conversation, you're saying something very specific without saying a word. I am comfortable in myself. I am in no rush. I don't need to perform. That level of grounded presence is rare. Most men don't have it. They try to fill every second with words, with jokes, with validation-seeking behavior. And women can sense that. They feel that jittery, anxious energy, and it pushes them away. But when you can sit there, eyes calm, body relaxed, breathing steady, and just look at her without forcing a reaction, she feels something different. It's not about being intense or creepy. It's about being still, about being there, fully. Eye contact isn't just about where you look. It's about how you look. Are your eyes darting around? Or are they steady, slow, and anchored? Now here's the interesting part. When you're that calm, you actually flip the script. You put her in her feminine, because now she's the one feeling watched, not in a predatory way, but in a noticed way, in a you're seen, and I'm not in a rush to distract myself kind of way. That kind of gaze creates tension, and women are deeply responsive to emotional tension. Think about this. In a world of distraction, how rare is it for someone to just look at you, without a phone, without fidgeting, without over-explaining themselves? That rare stillness becomes a magnet, because it signals something deeper. Control, masculine energy, dominance, not over her, but over yourself. And that kind of control is insanely attractive. It also creates mystery. She starts to wonder what you're thinking, why you're so still, why you're not rushing. And in that wonder, attraction grows. You become a puzzle she wants to figure out, a presence she wants to be near. Now the key is this. Don't use eye contact as a tactic. Don't stare her down trying to create a reaction. That's performative. Instead, be present. Really see her. Let your gaze be steady and soft, not intense or intimidating. You're not trying to dominate her. You're simply not looking away. You're communicating, I'm not afraid of this moment. I don't need to escape it. I'm here. And in a world of anxious men who can't sit still or handle a moment of tension, that alone sets you apart. So next time you're on a date, in a conversation, or just standing near a woman you're drawn to, don't rush to speak. Don't force it. Just hold her gaze, stay relaxed, and say less. Let the silence work for you, because sometimes the most attractive thing you can do is nothing at all. 2. Moving slowly and deliberately. You can tell everything about a man by the way he moves. Fast, jittery, hyperactive movement screams one thing: anxiety. A man constantly adjusting his clothes, bouncing his legs, talking too fast, always rushing. He's communicating to the world, I'm not in control, I'm not centered, I'm reacting. Now compare that to a man who moves slowly, who walks with purpose, who pauses before he speaks, who gestures with intention. That man's energy says, I own the space I'm in. And that is deeply attractive to women. Why? Because slowness is a sign of control. And women are hardwired to respond to masculine control, not control over them, but control over yourself. The man who is unhurried signals dominance, self-trust, and awareness. He's not rushing through life. He's leading it. Think about predators in the wild. Lions don't chase every animal in sight. They move slowly, strategically, effortlessly, because they know their power. They don't need to prove it. The world feels it. You can bring that same energy into your daily life. When you walk into a room, don't rush. Walk like you own the ground. When you sit, do it with intention. When you pick up a glass, do it like a man with nowhere to be. That ease, that silence in your movement speaks louder than any flex or expensive watch ever could. Now, this doesn't mean you should be slow in everything. Don't confuse slowness with laziness. This is about presence. It's about moving with composure instead of nervous energy. It's about slowing down your body so your mind can catch up. And here's the secret. When you move slowly, people follow your rhythm. You shift the tempo of the room, and women feel that. She'll begin to match your pace, lower her voice, soften her tone because your energy leads. So the next time you're out, challenge yourself. Slow down your walk, relax your hands, breathe deeper, and watch how women begin to lean in, listen more closely, and respond to the calm you bring. When you move with quiet confidence, you don't need to chase attraction. It chases you. 3. Saying less, but meaning more. We live in a world of noise. Everyone's talking, posting, commenting, arguing, trying to be heard. And most men fall right into this trap, thinking that if they don't say enough, they'll be forgotten. But what truly separates the high-value man is this. He says less, but every word lands with weight. Women don't fall for the guy who talks the most. They fall for the man whose silence says just as much as his words. The man who speaks slowly, thoughtfully, and only when he has something worth saying. Why? Because that kind of restraint communicates power. It tells her you're not performing, you're not trying to impress, you're secure enough to let your presence speak. When you speak less, people listen more. The stoic man doesn't need to dominate the conversation. He knows that real dominance comes from stillness, from knowing you have nothing to prove. He doesn't rush to respond. He listens, he observes, he pauses, and when he does speak, it cuts through the noise. Women are especially tuned into this. When you talk just to fill silence, they feel it. It smells like insecurity. But when you pause, take your time, and speak with intention, they lean in. They start wondering what's behind the mystery, what you're not saying, and why you're so still in a world of chaos. Mystery is created in restraint. So the next time you're with a woman, don't rush to fill the space. Let silences linger. Let her feel your calm. Let your words be sharp, not scattered, because saying less doesn't make you boring. It makes you unforgettable. 4. Maintaining boundaries without explanation. Most men don't realize how attractive boundaries are. They think saying no will push people away, that having standards will scare women off, that being unavailable will make them seem cold. But here's the truth. Women respect men with boundaries. They admire men who protect their time, energy, and peace. Why? Because boundaries signal one thing: self-worth. The man who can calmly say, "I'm not available tonight," or "I don't tolerate that kind of behavior," without getting defensive or emotional, is the man who commands silent respect. And the stoic man? He doesn't need to justify himself. He doesn't over-explain his decisions. He says what needs to be said, and that's it. Here's the secret. Women don't test your boundaries to be cruel. They test them to feel your strength. They want to know if you'll fold when pressured, if you'll compromise your values just to keep them happy. And when you don't, when you stay calm, grounded, and detached from their approval, you immediately stand out. A man who can say no with a soft voice and a still heart, that's a man who's mastered himself. So if a woman pushes your limits, don't explode, don't argue, and don't shrink. Stay firm. Say what's true, and let your actions speak louder than your explanations. She may not always agree with your boundaries, but she'll feel them. And more importantly, she'll respect you for them. 5. Being unfazed by her tests. Every emotionally intelligent woman will test you at some point, not to manipulate, but to feel your frame, to see if you wobble, to check if the man in front of her is real or just a performance. It might be a sarcastic comment, a sudden mood shift, a long silence, a challenge to your opinion. These aren't random. They're emotional checkpoints. She's watching how you respond when she pokes at your edges. And most men fail. They get reactive, defensive, insecure, they chase reassurance, or worse, they flip the script and try to one-up her. But the stoic man? He remains still. He doesn't flinch. He might smirk. He might stay silent. He might respond with quiet humor. But he doesn't get pulled out of his center. Why? Because he understands this. If she can shake your mood, she owns your mind. And once a woman feels she can control your emotions, her attraction fades fast. What she's really craving is to feel your emotional leadership, your unshakable core, your calm under pressure. If you can handle her tests with grace, presence, and strength, she begins to trust you. Not just admire you, not just be attracted, but trust. And that trust is the bridge to emotional intimacy. So when she tests you, don't get rattled. Smile, breathe, stay anchored. She's not trying to push you away. She's trying to pull your strength out. Show her you've got it. 6. Walking away without drama. When disrespected, let's get one thing straight. The most powerful move a man can make is to walk away without anger, without begging, and without a word when he's being disrespected. Most men get emotional. They argue. They explain themselves. They fight to be understood. But the stoic man? He doesn't explain. He exits. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect. When a woman crosses a clear boundary, when she tests you in a way that becomes toxic or repeatedly disrespectful, you don't need to fight back. You don't need to win the argument. You simply leave. Why? Because your silence is the consequence. That act of calmly walking away, of removing your presence, carries a weight most words never could. It signals that you will not trade your dignity for attention, that you are not a man who tolerates disrespect no matter how attractive she is. This is not about punishing her. It's about showing the world and yourself that you are the gatekeeper of your peace. And here's the twist. When a woman sees that she can't emotionally shake you, when she realizes you'll walk rather than beg, her respect for you grows, even if she's hurt, even if she's surprised. Because deep down, every woman wants to know that the man she's with is strong enough to walk away. That's the kind of power that can't be faked. It's not in your voice. It's in your absence. And when your absence speaks louder than your presence, you've become unforgettable. You don't need to be loud to be attractive. You don't need flashy lines, constant texting, or over-the-top gestures. In fact, the most magnetic men, the ones women can't stop thinking about, are the ones who move in silence, who command presence without chasing attention. They're calm when others are reactive, still when others are loud, focused when others are lost. And the truth is, women feel that. They may not always be able to explain it, but they know when they're around a man who doesn't need to prove anything because his presence says everything. So remember, look her in the eye and let the silence speak for you. Move slowly, like a man with nowhere to rush. Speak less, but mean every word. Protect your boundaries with quiet certainty. Stay calm when tested, because your frame is your power. And if disrespected, leave, not with noise, but with silence. That's stoic attraction. That's masculine presence. And that's what makes a man unforgettable. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment saying, "My silence is power." Hit that like button, subscribe for more deep insights on stoic masculinity, female psychology, and emotional self-mastery. And remember, stay calm, stay powerful, and always lead with presence. This is Olivia Rose. I'll see you in the next one.